On the Ontario cuts to legal aid, refugee lawyers are saying the Ford government's decision will put people's lives at risk. That Ontario government is also saying that Ottawa should be paying those bills. We're wondering what the federal government will do for these people who now, frankly, don't have any legal aid.
This is a little bit of deja vu right here, where we see Conservative politicians choosing to cut essential services for the most vulnerable people. A few years ago, we'll all remember when the Harper Conservative government decided to cut health care for refugees, which not only endangered their health and safety, but had real potential impacts on our entire communities and on our entire country. The idea of making cuts to the most vulnerable to save some money and try to balance the budget at all costs is exactly what failed for 10 years under Stephen Harper. And what we were able to demonstrate was that instead, if you make smart investments in people, you give more money to the middle class and people working hard to join it so they can have greater confidence in their own future, in their own capacities to build that future. You invest in things like public transit. You invest in research institutions. You invest in training and skills programs that give people a sense of power and agency over the future. You create growth. You give people confidence. And nowhere is that clearer than in how we support the most vulnerable people who come to this country trying to build a better life for themselves. The stories we hear, and Mohammed, who I met earlier today, is just a great example of that, of people who want nothing more than to build a better life for themselves and their kids than they had in a faraway land that was facing war and strife and conflict, means that their contributions to Canada, to our economic growth, to our communities, to our solutions, are incredible. And we should be empowering and supporting those people on their path to integration so that they can do what they want to do, which is contribute to this community that has given them an opportunity that they could never have imagined back home. So Conservative politicians, whether it's Doug Ford or Andrew Scheer who wants to do the same thing, who wants to continue to cut as a way of trying to create growth and opportunity, are completely wrong-headed. We know, all of you here know, that the way to grow is to bet on yourself, to bet on Canadians, to invest in yourself and your future, to build those solutions that we need. The cuts that the Ford government are putting forward is exactly the wrong thing for Ontario, exactly the wrong thing for Canada. And we're going to be pointing that out in the coming months leading up to the election, where Andrew Scheer has basically the same plan.